A quote from our next guest that I really love: "We don't need to talk about diversity and valuing the other 50% of the sector. It's just simply understood and happening every day. Women not only feel like they belong in the primary sector, they are driving the collaboration and sense of purpose that helps others belong to it." That is, of course, our next guest from the Agri-Women's Development Trust that has been empowering primary sector women for a decade as they celebrate their 10th anniversary this month. They have achieved a lot in those 10 years, graduating 4,500 rural and primary sector New Zealanders through their programs. Lisa Sims, General Manager for Agri-Women's Development Trust, joins us now from the mighty region near Ikitahuna. Fantastic. And your broadband, just following on there from Melissa Clark-Reynolds earlier, is incredible. Firstly, Lisa, what's it been like continuing through COVID for AWDT?
Well, it's been a crazy old year, Sarah, as all of us know, and we've actually managed to continue incredibly well by taking some of our programs online, and some good timing around some of the modules that we had on our leadership programs. March, September kind of worked. And we've done a lot of rescheduling. We've rescheduled literally hundreds of women and a few men. And we've ended up still achieving our target of around 1,000 people through our programs in 2020. So our team's pretty exhausted, but they're pretty satisfied in what we've managed to get done this year.
That is absolutely incredible, because it all began with the wonderful Lindy Nelson, who's stepped down from her heavy involvement on a day-to-day with 10 or 11, I think it was, in 2010 to over 1,000 women. What an absolute mammoth task. Could you paint the picture of the basis of the trust and what it has set out to achieve in the past decade?
Yeah, so as you say, it was founded in 2010 by Lindy Nelson, and with the support of our patron Mavis Mullins, and they put their heads together with a few other women and really decided that they wanted to do something with the research that Lindy had done through her Kellogg program over a few years, and they launched the trust out of Parliament with the real purpose to empower women to create progress and change in the primary sector and in communities. And they started with 11 women of the Escalator program, and that was the first program. And as time went on, other programs were research designed and then began to deliver. The team of facilitators was built, and it sort of grew exponentially, I guess, over the years, to the point where now we're working with around about 1,000 women and some men each year. So it's been a huge effort, and there's been what we've really noticed, I guess, is that there's just more and more demand as more and more women understand that that they can step up and contribute in different ways and bring their thinking to the table in the sector, which is we need all of our people to contribute and be able to feel confident to do that.
And that is the absolute thing I love so much about Agri-Women's Development Trust, is it's not an elitist governance program whereby it's about trying to get more women on boards. It's all the way down to behind the farm gate of women being able to have kitchen table conversations on the business's direction with their male husband and be on an equal around that, right down to 2,200 farming women being able to measure farm performance and improve profitability through understanding your farming business. It must be so rewarding. Can you share with us some of the sort of evolution that you've seen in these women and this growth and, as you said, empowerment, some of the stories?
Yeah, and there's hundreds of stories, some well known, some others. But let me just touch on one. One of our first participants in understanding your farming business was a woman named Sandra Matthews, who many of your listeners will know of, based in the farms in the remote region of Tairāwhiti near Gisborne. She came on understanding your farming business. She got in the room with a group of other women and understood that she wasn't alone in the isolation that she felt, and that the things that she wanted to do to really use her skills that she'd gained in her career and on her farm to do something more. She then came on another program called It's All About You, and Sandra went on to form her own group of women, starting with a group of women that she did those programs with, and that's expanded to an organisation now called Farming Women Tairāwhiti. And that's a sustainable organisation. It works with around 800 women in that region. with ongoing connection, support, learning, connection to industry. And Sandra's recently stepped back as the chair of that after 5 years and succeeded herself into new leadership for that organisation. So it's about creating that ripple effect. And there's lots of stories like that. Sandra then went on to do our Escalator program. She's now serving on the Beef and Lamb Farmer Council, and she's one of our facilitators. So she's using her experience and her knowledge and her skills to really empower other women through our programs. So that's a great illustration of how women go away and do different things that creates that ripple effect and empowering other leaders.
It's interesting because as women, like men, we're all individually conditioned from a young age differently. And listening on the West Coast at the ladies' evening, Katie Milne telling her story, it was the first time I'd actually heard Katie's real early history. 23-year-old Annie Lennox here, only woman in the room telling these old men how to get things done. Of course, the first female president of Federated Farmers. But not every woman is built like that or has been conditioned differently to that. And I love your quote around it's just about creating women as powerful agents for positive change without need for permission or position. How the value systems of Agri-Women's Development Trust is unique in that.
Absolutely. And, as you say, it's not about leadership's not about having a position. It's about, doing things differently and leading people on, whether it's on your farm and a health and safety, improve your health and safety on a farm, whether it's to support, your partner by becoming more involved in the business. And so there's a whole lot of things that women can do, and we often don't see ourselves as leaders. I know when I came on the Escalator program in 2012, I'd had a career, I'd married a farmer, I still had my career. I wasn't that involved in the farm, and I'm still not. But I came on Escalator, and I didn't see myself as a leader. I thought a leader was someone who, had a high-powered CEO position or something like that. And I've learned that, there's other things you can do. I never actually imagined that I would be leading this organisation at that point, and that's a whole nother story. But I think there are so many women out there who have something more to give, something more to offer, and it just needs sometimes a little bit of connection, confidence, and some understanding what their strengths are, and really understanding why and where they want to contribute. And once that happens, a whole lot of magic starts to happen.
Oh, it's so exciting. And of course, we are celebrating 10 years of Agri-Women's Development Trust. And I know that your vision will be wider than just the next 10 years. I mean, what does great look like into the future?
Yeah, so, our vision is around women being vital partners in a New Zealand primary sector that's world leading, and communities, New Zealand communities, rural communities that are really thriving. So, by 2035, what good looks like is a significantly larger number of women leading in positions, and they are important, leading on our boards. That's already happening, but we need more to bring that new thinking, leading in management positions, but also on farm and in communities. So productive and profitable farming businesses that understand how to care for the land, that understand the connections to their markets, that understand what they need to do to hold on to their staff and support their staff. And there's a lot of what good looks like across those different areas. But really having women as a vital partner. So it's not about taking over from the men. It's around playing their part and bringing that diversity, the different thinking, and connecting to really make our sector as good as it can be.
Thank you so much, Lisa Sim, General Manager for Agri-Women's Development Trust, there with us on Sarah's Country, celebrating the past 10 years of what has been an incredible journey. And the output, if you want KPIs, I mean, there is a massive graphic. Take a look in this week's Farmers Weekly full page showing 4,500 graduates that are now vital partners from the farm to the board table. Now, that is something that is called a legacy. Absolutely congratulations to, as she said, Mavis Mullins and Lindy Nelson and the great hardworking team behind Agri-Women's Development Trust, from Lisa all the way down to those regional coordinators who all want to give back.
This is Sarah's Country.